Yeah, just start sharing shit. I gotta go over here. So we go live on Instagram. Go live on Instagram. Yo, turn that off, man.
That's what I'm doing, bro. Calm down.
You be letting that shit go on whole fucking show.
I already did it. Let's see. I'm getting alerts from the show.
All right,
AJ Black Westchester.
All right. So we're about to set it off. Let's set it off. Where the fuck does it start? Oh, here we go.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it. And are not.
Peace and blessings, everybody.
Welcome to a special late night edition of the People Before Politics radio show.
Ain't special. We might be doing this.
Well, special edition late night. This is a special late night edition.
We might be doing this on the back of the I'd be tired, man. I'd be tired, man. Peace and blessings, everybody. Now we're live. Check this out now. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram at Damon K. Jones. We're live on X at Damon K. Jones. We're live on YouTube on Black Westchester. We're live on YouTube on Damon K. Jones. We're live on Facebook on People Before Politics. We're live everywhere, and we want to just have a great discussion of what's going on in Westchester County and talk about what's happening in Westchester County and giving the news with the Black point of view. And I want to thank everybody over there on my brother Jack said it's late night edition. He said it's past folks' bedtime.
That's what I told you. I told you people trying to get in bed early.
Yeah, but I know people be on their phones. They might be in the bed, but they checking out Instagram and they checking out social media until they fall asleep. So you might as well watch Black Westchester, the news with the Black point of view. But we thank everybody that may tune in and check us out man. You guys say anything, AJ?
Nah. Oh, well, you see, I'm wearing a Knicks hat. Today is the last official day of the NBA season. The Knicks are the number 2 seed, first time since I think 2013, and they had a 50 win season, first time in like 23 years. Even though they had a bunch of injuries and stuff this year, this has been real excitement for the Knicks. The Knicks have. I'm not one of those that's like, oh my God, we're going to win the championship. I'm not jumping off the roof, but it's definitely something to celebrate and see how far we go. In the playoffs, a lot of people predicted we could go to the Eastern Conference Finals and face off with Boston, who's number 1. So anyway, I just wanted to shout out the New York Knicks, Jalen Bronson doing the damn thing, and everybody, to all the Knicks fans out there. And to all the haters, yeah, we here.
Yeah, go Knicks, man. You know, that's
Hey,
all.
hey, no,
Uh,
there ain't a whole lot to celebrate. I'm telling you. And
man,
even today, when they were playing the last game, they kind of tried to get that game away. Like they was like, yo, really messing up. They had the game and they could have won it in regular time, but they had to go to overtime, and they eventually pulled it out. I guess the Bulls messed up more than we did, and we end up winning this game. But I'll take it. I'll take the win and the second place.
right. And what else in the news, man? I think we all, if you ain't been living under the rock, I think many people have heard that, you know, the juice, OJ Simpson, recently passed away from cancer. Everybody knows. Well, a lot of people don't know. Younger generation. His great athletic achievements, and it was taken away by, I guess, the murder trial of his second wife and Ron Goldman, which he was found innocent of murder.
And then civilly guilty. He was criminally innocent and civilly guilty. Which
However,
is one of the first time. I'm not saying it never happened before, but it's definitely the first time in my life that I've seen that you've been acquitted in a criminal case, and they took you for civil, and then you were found guilty, and everybody say you guilty. They confiscated all his stuff that they should never have, and when he went to get it back, they arrested him and put him in jail for robbery.
Well, but what happened? Well, that case in Vegas was crazy because, you know, each state had different laws. So you just can't run up. You just can't. you just can't run up in a hotel room with guns out and take your stuff.
No, I got that, and that's true. But my point is, though, he was exonerated. They shouldn't have never took possession of all his stuff.
No. Well, the possession of the stuff came from the lawsuit, right? It came from the lawsuit. Even though I was watching one report, they said the Goldman family only got maybe $500, you know, out of the whole thing. OJ
they still trying to get him now because I just read they said he had millions put up. They trying to find the money that he had put up.
No, they can't get it because he had it in his retirement fund. And however it was set up, they couldn't touch his retirement fund. So he lived off, you know, one smart athlete, right? Most of his money he put in his retirement fund. And I guess whatever the laws, if anybody's watching, wherever people are at, from what I've read and what I watched, they couldn't get his retirement fund. So even though he lost the material possessions, the Heisman Trophy, and all, and they ended up tearing down his house and do everything else, you know, he was still living okay, you know. But then, you know, he wanted to get his stuff back, and instead of getting a lawyer,
or he got money, get somebody else to run up on him. You don't do
it. He went in there gangster, right? And then the other two sold him out, and then he ended up doing what, a couple of years,
right,
in prison in Nevada. But you know,
but for those that don't know, I want to interrupt you real quick,
right?
Because I haven't seen this done much. So he played in the NFL for 11 seasons, primarily for the Buffalo Bills, and is regarded as one of the greatest running backs of all times. Unfortunately, all his success was overshadowed by this trial and everything. He also was an actor. But here's some of the accolades. Like, they don't celebrate him. He was most valuable player in 1973. NFL Offensive Player of the Year in 1973. 5-time first team All-Pro, 72 to 7. 5-time Pro Bowl. AFL All-Star. He won the Bell Bird Award in 73. He was the AP Athlete of the Year in 73. UPA AFL Offensive Player of the Year, 72, 73, 75. 4 times NFL Rushing Yards Leader, 70, 72, 73, 75, 76. NFL rushing touchdown leader, 73 and 75. NFL scoring leader, NFL 1970 all-decade team, NFL 75 anniversary all-time team, NFL 100th anniversary all-time team, Buffalo Bills Wall of Fame, national champion 67, Heisman Trophy winner 68, and on and on and on. This list still goes on and on and on.
No, that's
And then
crazy.
all the accolades he had in college. Then he had a semi-successful acting career. He was in a couple of movies. He was so large. He had one commercial. His mama had commercials. His mama was got into the commercials because that's how large he was. He was literally larger than life.
Right.
He was loved by white people, black people. He was loved by everybody.
Right.
White. The one problem, he left his black wife, got him a white girl, and he forgot he was black. Like Jay-Z said,
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Okay, yeah. So he forgot, but white people tried to claim him at his own, and this may be offensive, but this is the show that's not afraid to say it. His wife's family. He put the brother through college. He paid for their house. He did a lot, and they had no problem when he was giving them all his money and taking care of them. He was literally taking care of the family. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a bad thing to say about him. You know what I'm saying? Putting her brother through college and other things and all kinds of other things. There's a whole bunch of accolades that he has on that level. But all I was really hearing about was the trial. And yes, it was the trial of the century. Because at that time, that was like, that was before social media, like George Floyd, everybody was held captive because of COVID. This was not that. This was, everybody was glued to their TV. You didn't have phones or nothing. Right. You was glued to a TV and you watched that chase. That was like, and everybody watched that trial every day. You know what I'm saying? Without social media, without a lot of cable, you know what I'm saying? Without smartphones and stuff, that was like the most watched thing in the world. But he's much more than that, and you can't take away those accolades. And a jury of his peers, if he was white, this is what they were saying. A jury of his peers found him innocent, not guilty.
Right. No, I mean,
so that like, if you rich, and what he did was he exposed the American justice system. Rich white people have lots of money and get big teams of high-priced lawyers and get off with everything, and we're never talking about them being guilty. He did the same thing, and the state was not able to prove their case. You know what I'm saying? And They said he was guilty of all this, but they was not able to prove his case. And so I just want to throw that out there, and I want you to play that clip because that's funny. I think
another issue that happened with the case, and big shout out to one of my pastors, S.R. Blakes. I seen him join on Instagram. S.R. Blakes, love you, brother. And one of the things was the lack of trust in LAPD. Yes. Because if you remember at that time, it was a couple of years after the Rodney King case and the Rodney King trial. And Mark Furman was a horrible witness for the case. And what's the guy, the
Cato?
No, I ain't worried about Cato. The dude with the blood, the Asian guy that did the crime scenes and all that. Yo, when he broke down, because they were saying, oh, we got OJ's blood in the driveway and all this and all that. When he broke down, when they presented the case, and I thought this was amazing. When they presented the case, that it was a high possibility that Mark Furman took some of OJ's blood and put it at the crime scene, right? And when he broke down what was a splatter, because if blood will drop on you, it will splatter. And what was a drop? When he broke that down, I was amazed. The credibility of LA of the LAPD was on trial. They put the credibility of the LAPD on trial. And in the history of the LAPD at that time, and maybe today too, is very questionable. Very questionable.
That officer, and they had that officer, he had some racist tendencies that came out in the
Oh yeah, well, they asked him. They said, Mr. Furman, have you ever used the word nigger? He said, no. Then they brought in this whole tape, the interview. All through the interview, he's like, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, these niggas, this. Yo, it was crazy. It was insane. Nigga. It was the whole tape. It was nigga. So the credibility of the police department and the racial undertones of the police department, and then OJ being who he is, and then the black community throughout the nation understood police brutality and police misconduct. They understood that. White folks ain't get it, and they still don't get it now, but they definitely didn't get it then. And they created enough doubt, and then Johnny Crockett with the the legendary with the gloves. If it don't fit,
you must quit.
And that was amazing. I know they have to be, and they should be if they're not, studying how the defense did that case in law school. If they're not doing that, then you shouldn't go to that law school. If you want to be a defensive lawyer, you should not go to that law school if they're not running that and how they put that case together.
He had a great team.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to play this little clip.
Go ahead, and then I'll finish it off.
And even if it was, no one man could have made.
No, start it from the beginning.
It's
not the beginning.
After one man dropped. When Marshall Clark finished listing all the evidence they had against OJ, I said OJ did it. They may as well lock him up right now. I don't even know why they're going on with a trial, all that evidence. But I kept on watching till Smooth Johnny Cochran got up and started breaking it down. Johnny Cochran got a point. They got too much evidence against OJ. Nobody could have been that damn stupid. And even if it was, no one man, even if it was, and even if it was, no one man could have made all them mistakes. How could one man drop one bloody glove at the crime scene, take the matching bloody glove to his own house, drip blood all up and down Rockingham Boulevard, blood in the bushes, blood in the grass, left his hat on top of one of the bodies, blood on the fence, blood on the outside of the Bronco, blood inside the Bronco. He couldn't have done it. He got to his house, climbed over the wall and broke in his own estate for what he lived there. Ain't it got a key to the gate? Knocked on the wall, woke Cato's lazy, ignorant, no telling having ass up. OJ couldn't have done all that. The OJs couldn't have done all that. And Johnny Cochran so smooth, he got OJ thinking he didn't really do it.
That's it.
Yeah,
I want to also shout out the only other people that I've seen celebrate OJ. So the rappers Mace and Cameron have a podcast, What It Is, and they do sports and everything else. The last few months of OJ's life, OJ was a recurring co-host on there and talking about sports with them. They celebrated him. They called him O or Uncle O. You know what I'm saying? And he was in here, and he was in rare form too, because he let the N-word go a few times, and he was just like, yo, he was talking about and he was giving his sports knowledge. You know what I'm saying to their show,
right?
And then after he passed, they saluted him with celebrating his life, what he meant to them, what they learned from him, and all of that. So shout to Mace and Cameron. And you can go just Google What It Is or Mason Cameron and OJ, and you'll see the salutes. But they celebrated him, and you'll see the clips. But even when all of that was going on, and towards the end, they acknowledged that the cancer, and they was giving him a chance to talk about it. He just wanted people to remember him the way he was. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really he wasn't looking for no pity or nothing with the cancer, but he was battling that for a while. But they discussed that a little bit. So shout out to Mace and Cameron. They definitely doing something. They got together. They got together, and they're doing something big.
All right, enough talking about this show.
Yeah.
I'm not promoting this show.
No, the show is great. It's not anything or nothing.
Right, let's move on. We ain't promoting nobody else's show unless they promote ours. And that we that's it. Let's move on, man. So the next thing is happening is Iran is sending bombs over to Israel. Are we surprised?
Well, they said drones. I guess the drones had bombs. They said a whole bunch of drones, though.
But the thing is, are we surprised? See, this is what I don't understand. Israel goes into Syria, which is another country, and blows up the Iranian embassy. Ain't there some type of violations of that? Ain't there some international? Shouldn't be there some international violations of that? That they're going to go in another country and then blow up a different country's embassy.
If it had been American embassy, if it had been English embassy, had been one of the big countries, it'd be all out war now. Like that country. I'm saying that other country. If it had been America's embassy, America would be bombing Iran right now. If it had been any big other country, NATO would be coming and stepping in saying that that's outrageous. You know what I'm saying? Like you bombing the embassy, NATO would have stepped up. But I guess because it was Iran's, ain't nobody got nothing to say.
But that's crazy. So I mean, look, I'm all my humanity does not condone any loss of life, but I'm from the streets. Don't start none, won't be none. What made Israel decide that they was going to go into Syria and then say it wasn't an embassy? Who are you to decide that? Who are you to decide that? Like we can't be so blind or so quiet. You know, that we allow these things to happen to be scared to be called an anti-Semite, and Black people can never be called anti-Semite because we are the Semite people. We are Semites. We are Semites. So we should not be scared of that that label. What we should do is just call for accountability and call for justice. Now, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but that does not take our mind off the over 31,000 women and children, 70% women and children over in Palestine that have been killed by U.S. military equipment, by our tax dollars. That's not that we're not going to lose focus on that. You know, and I really think we have to pay attention, you know, to our elected officials. I mean, Black and brown and even poor white communities all throughout the country are having a hard time. And we're sending billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to these other countries to fight wars, to kill other people. To kill other people. And this is not right. You know, when we could solve problems in America with all that money. Like when anybody that's watching, just Google the amount of money that's going over there.
So Iran launched drones and missiles towards Israel after vowing retaliation for a deadly strike on its consulate in Syria capital Damascus. Israel said they They haven't carried out the strike, but it's widely believed that they have been behind it. It's the first time that Iran has attacked Israel directly. It goes on to say the two countries they've been at war for a while, and there's been a lot of attacks coming from. There've been a lot of attacks. Like, this is not the first attack, but the point is, though, now the narrative of going after Gaza is because Hamas attacked Israel October 7th. And everybody's condemned that, and we've condemned that and everything. So this is supposed to be in retaliation, even though they've gone over and beyond the call of duty. But blowing up another country's consulate
in another country.
In another country. That's a violation. Like I said, if it had happened to they did that to the wrong country, they'd be bombed right now. You just can't. NATO would be involved. There would be all kinds of war courts and world courts about it. You just can't go around bombing. A consulate, an embassy is supposed to be sacred ground.
Right.
It's we can't run up in Russia's embassy here in the United States. That's sacred ground. That's actually Russia. That's actually Russia in America. That one spot is Russia. You violate them, that's an act of war of violating their country. You know what I'm saying? That's what attacking a consulate or embassy is. So I know there's bad blood between both of them, but they definitely escalated the situation. And I was telling you, with all going on, with all the talk about Israel and Gaza, especially in CD16 race right now, the narrative this incident happening right now has changed the narrative from anybody talking about the atrocities happening in Gaza right now. Nobody's talking about Gaza right now. We're talking about Israel and Iran and the drones they sent over, and they intercepted 99% of the drones and all of that. Like, that's the narrative everywhere. And what was going on in Gaza is still going on in Gaza, and they made Nas made you look. They made the media turn their head and change the narrative completely. So nobody's
they're trying to change the narrative. I mean, there's still people, pushing for the issues on Palestine. CNN just did another report on how protesters are rolling up on everything. They packed Manhattan when Bill Clinton and Barack Obama came out to support Joe Biden. They surrounded the building. So people haven't forgot, but they are trying to change the narrative, and it's good that the people are not allowing them to change the narrative. We have to remember, what's going on in Palestine, and we have to continue to call, for the end of the war. The war is over. The war's over, man. AJ was talking about basketball earlier. In any sport, I think if it's 31,000 to 1,300, I think the team that got 31,000 is the winner. I think the team that caused 31,000 deaths against the other team that caused maybe 1,300 deaths, one with 31,000 deaths is a winner. So, it's not, and now what they're doing is creating famine. They were attacking trucks that were bringing in food and supplies. Like this is out of hand. This is almost like a extermination of a people. And they want to do the 3-car Molly trick and have us focusing on Iran. No, we're not going to allow you to do that, sir. That's not going to happen. And we shouldn't have let our politicians, try to change the narrative neither.
Yeah, I'm getting alerts on my phone. NYPD is putting an extra watch on all houses of worship, for anti-Semitic responses because of the attack from Iran. The NYPD just made a statement. That's
Yeah, but
misleading.
when was the NYPD making statements about the mosque? When Israel bombed Iran. They need to listen. One thing my pastor said, R.C. Blakes, he said that 2024 will be the year of exposure. Everybody's going to be exposed on who they really are. And right now, the politicians are being exposed who they really are, especially the politicians, because they're showing an imbalance on how they represent groups of people. The Democratic, my man Chris Latt, what's up, kid? The Democratic Party in Westchester is being exposed who they really are, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes with the Westchester County District Attorney race. So it's up to the people. We really have to come together, man. We really have to come together because a lot of our leadership are not for the people. And we shouldn't worry about whether they got a D or R or whatever letter they got in front of their names, because at the end of the day, man, it's the same. When it comes to Black folks, it's the same. It's definitely the same. We have to come together. We have to pull out. We have to pull out of this system, man. Become brothers and sisters, and pool our resources. We spend so much. We spend so much on frivolous stuff. We could run our own politicians in all 50 states. You know what I'm saying? If we just pool our resources and stop the division among our people. Let's stop the division. They're taking everything away. Look, I ain't got nothing against. I don't have any against the migrants that's coming over. Because that's United States policy. They're allowing them over for a reason. Think about that. They're allowing them to come over for a reason. And what they're going to do, they're going to go into communities and they're going to build their own stuff. They're not going to be looking for handouts. They're going to get one house. They're all going to get one house. They're going to pay that house off. And next thing you know, you're going to look 5-6 years down the line, they own the whole block and the corner store. We don't do that in our communities. And soon we're going to be pushed aside. We're being pushed aside now. I mean, ain't no soon. They're doing it now. They're doing it now. So we're gonna segue. It's 34 minutes into the show. So
I want to give a shout out. One article for everybody to check out. A young lady who is suffering from sickle cell. She wrote a poem about how sickle cell affects her life. It's a very powerful letter, poem. Minor. She's given her perspective, and we published it to let her share what she thought. It's called "The Letter to Sickle Cell," and everybody, please read that. And if you're moved by it, leave your feedback in the comment section under the poem, so she could read it. You know what I'm saying? Any encouragement, anything like that. We need to encourage our youth when our youth do anything. And she's decided not to be a victim. She goes through of emotions, why her, this, that, and the other, but she refused to be a victim, and she is speaking up, and she wrote a letter to sickle cell. So it's on the front page of Black Westchester. Go check it out. Powerful poem.
Great. So
And shout out to Jared Rice. He just got a certificate from Georgetown University in advanced racial justice, and equity in youth legal systems. So we talk about criminal justice and what we want our criminal justice system to look like. We need everybody who's sitting behind the bench to be talking about racial justice and equity, especially in the youth legal system. We definitely need more of that. So shout to him.
Right. So last couple of minutes of the show. Today there was a press conference in White Plains at the courthouse in front of the statue of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we're getting into the silly political season, everybody, where there's going to be accusations from one candidate to another. But this accusation is very interesting. If people do not know, Westchester County, where the Westchester County district attorney race is up, and this year we have since I've been in law enforcement, 33 years, and since I knew what the DA was, this is the first Black candidate ever for Westchester County district attorney. I never heard of any other one. I never heard of any other Black man or woman stepping up to the plate to run for Westchester County district attorney. This is a young brother, William Wagstaff, who is a civil rights attorney, and he has stepped up to the plate to take on the challenge. And there's three other candidates in the race, but the Democratic nominee, which is Susan Kakay, she's a former judge. And we are in the signature process part of the, and she has accused William Wagstaff of.
I got his letter right here.
All right, yeah, read the letter. And then we go.
So this is quoting from his letter. My opponent's campaign has chosen an ultra-conservative, anti-choice, right-to-life party endorsed former judge who happens to have her campaign manager's father challenge my petitions in a court with the goal of to get me thrown off the ballot. He calls what's going on voter disenfranchisement. So they said two petitions. The first, they're challenging submitting that that William Wagstaff falsely represented the address in Mount Vernon listed on his petitions. That is not his legal residence. He says that's a lie, a complete fabrication. The address on his petition is his home, his legal address, his residence, where he pays his taxes, and where he's registered to vote, and the address on his license. The second challenge submitted falsely represents that he did not witness the signing of petitions by two individuals which he attests to having watched. Again, that representation, he says, is a complete fabrication, a lie. All of these individuals have stated on the record that I was present when they signed the petition. Interesting. I was reading in a Lohut article the judge the campaign manager's father is a judge, and that's who filed the petitions. He's a sitting judge. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Look, I'm not surprised.
So anyway, the letter goes on and on. You can go to his page, or it's all over Facebook, to fully read his letter in great detail. We'll probably put a link on the website so you can just read it. But
Right.
I wanted to quote his words, so
Right.
we
So let's Chris Latt asked a question. No, this is not the judge that was on Kenny's case. The judge that was on Kenny's case was a federal judge. Susan Case was a county judge, and now she's running for DA. The first video I want to show everybody is the two ladies that they say that they're claiming, and what they're saying, what actually happened and what's going on. So let's go.
I was also a victim of Susan Case's
started
campaign
from the beginning. I don't
and
think that's the
a
beginning.
victim of her voter intimidation.
Yeah, no, that is the
and her
beginning.
attempt to
I chopped it up.
disenfranchise us by questioning my signature on Will Wagstaff's petition.
What's that noise?
And being threatened that if I did not show
What's that
up
beeping
on
noise?
time at home, my signature would be thrown off the petition. I want to say that I don't know what was more frightening, that I was going through that at the moment as the descendant of men and women who went through Jim Crow South, that endured the pain of being scared to go and vote, or was I more frightened that this was Westchester County in the year 2024 and this is still going on? But I do have a message for Ms. Case. The voters of color here in Westchester, we will not be intimidated, we will not be frightened, we will not be disenfranchised. We will show up to the polls and show you how much we want William Wagstaff in that position for District County for Westchester County. He showed up five times, and told me if I did not get home by a certain time, that my signature would be thrown off. So Westchester voters, especially voters of color, we have to get out and we have to support William Wagstaff for District Attorney for Westchester County. Thank you. Nikia Highland.
Good afternoon, Westchester County.
Good afternoon.
It is beyond my understanding, as those have gone before me would say, that we are in an election in 2024 where we are trying to be intimidated for our votes, for our rights of who we are as American citizens and voters. I have been a registered voter since 1997, and I have never felt what I felt the other day by Ms. Case's campaign. I was threatened, I was intimidated, and on several occasions, my number was called when I blatantly said, I stand by the signature and the man, because clearly, from the campaign that he is running, I know that our children, our community members, our families, our neighbors will be treated just and fair with him at the helm of the district attorney's office. It is imperative that we understand who we place into these elected offices. It is imperative that we do the necessary research on these people and not appoint them because of privilege, but appoint them because they are here to uphold the laws and guidelines that is set, not only just here in Westchester County, but us as a nation. So I implore everyone to understand that on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, that we are here together in the support of our 6,000 plus signatures.
Amen.
Woo! And as we continue to do the work daily in our communities throughout Westchester County, I thank you for the work that has already been done so diligently, and I stand beside him in all that is to come for Westchester County. Thank you.
So we're gonna make it quick because the Instagram people, we only got 15 minutes left. So we're gonna make it real quick. These two sisters here was approached. The first lady was approached by someone from approached from by somebody from Susan Kay's camp, and threatened if she don't be home and all that stuff, which y'all heard. The second lady, which I have a screenshot of the text, it was someone from Susan Kay's camp, but she was given the message that they were from the DA's office. So what we're going to do as Blacks in law enforcement, because I am the New York representative of Blacks in law enforcement, we're going to write the DA's office to investigate that, to make sure that these people are not walking around saying that they're from the DA's office. The Democratic Party in Westchester, they do tricks like that. I was an unwilling victim of that when I ran for city council, and they lost a full investigation and tried to get some people who collected signatures for me to say that I told them to get false signatures, and they wouldn't do it. And they just couldn't believe that Elmo Wesley, if you from White Plains, Greenburgh, y'all know Elmo, they couldn't believe that actually a Black man was named Elmo, and lost a full investigation. And you thought they had more investigators out in Mount Vernon than they have for a murder trial, the district attorney's office at that time. So I get it. I know the games that they played, because they played it with me, and that's not a good look. And not only they're doing that, they're trying to say that they're going to take William Wagstaff's law license, right? Because they're trying to push this fraud. So let's hear from William Wagstaff himself.
I want to thank everybody for standing with me, standing against voter intimidation, standing against voter disenfranchisement, and to all of my supporters, the more than 6,000 people that signed my petition. Let's start at the beginning. I unequivocally deny any of these false allegations launched against me and my campaign by candidate Case. I unequivocally stand that the first piece of property that I own was at 777 North McQuestion Parkway in the city of Mount Vernon. That is my legal address. That is where I'm registered to vote. That is where my driver's license is. That is where my law license that these cowards threaten to take is associated. So let's be crystal clear. There's no fraud. There's only fraud with that campaign and the bad actors that are pushing behind her, that are MAGA Republicans, that are scared because I'm bold, brilliant, and Black. So we are here to talk about this voter intimidation. As we stand, as the mayor, my sister said, at the foot of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we still have a lot of work to do. And the problem is they are scared that when we get in this office, the work will start to get done. They don't want this work to get done, because at the end of the day, that would mean that we would have an equal and just society, not controlled by 10 people in the room that thought they were going to have a coronation instead of a campaign. No, you're going to campaign against William Wagstaff. There will be no coronation. And what you don't realize is that you lost your advantage when you decided to file this frivolous lawsuit against me. Because you moved it from the back rooms where you had control to the courthouse where I shine. So let's be crystal clear. There was no fraud. That is my address. We will be on the ballot. And if it means we have to go to the Court of Appeals in Albany to make sure that the people get to choose their next district attorney, by God, we will be there. Now, if you think that you can knock on doors in the city of Mount Vernon and you're going to intimidate Black women, you picked the wrong target. Because Black women are the backbone of this party, And they have done so much to fight for young men like me to even be a viable candidate for district attorney. And if you think they are going to buckle, bow, or run because you sent someone to knock on their door falsely claiming to be an investigator from the district attorney's office, you got another thing coming. And you need to think about this. Let's put this in context. That the person vying to be the top law enforcement officer has sent people to misrepresent themselves to doors, all in furtherance of a false lawsuit, making false allegations. Is that who we should have with the power to put charges against people? That makes no sense. And the mayor alluded to it, but I'm going to go a little further. We didn't just start with these false allegations. We didn't just start with them trying to intimidate the voters and people that signed my petition. The intimidation in the games started back in February. Right. When they were leaning on district leaders and threatening people that if they voted for the candidate of their choosing, that there would be consequences. Whenever you have people wearing her hat, wearing her button, that come up to you at the nominating convention and say, I'm sorry, I had to do what I had to do, but I'm with you in June, that tells you that there's a fighting, distrusting, Trumpian power behind that doesn't want to see us win. That's right. The day after the nominating committee, she pulled out of the first debate where she was supposed to speak to the black and brown community. That's right. She refused to engage in dialogue when you are supposed to be the district attorney that will represent and keep safe everyone. It must have been something I said. And then they went and decided that they were going to threaten chairs, district leaders, and individuals if they were going to carry our petitions. And despite their voter intimidation, we still had over 6,000. Imagine if they would have allowed people to have their free will, how many signatures we would have had then. So I stand here to make it crystal clear, and I look you in your eye, look you in your face. Susan Case, there's no place for voter intimidation in Westchester County. The people will have their way. We will be victorious, and I will see you on June 25th. Thank you.
Now I'm trying to make it quick for the people that's on Instagram, and if you want to continue the show, because Instagram only allows us to go live for an hour. If you want to continue to watch the show, you could go over to we go to YouTube, go to Damon K. Jones, or go to Black Westchester Magazine and watch us finish off the show. But he alluded, he talked about what the mayor had discussed when she spoke, and I'm gonna play that because I think this is very interesting. That Mayor Sean Patterson Howard talked about the political bullying that's been going on around William Wagstaff, and I'm going to add, she didn't say it, I'm going to add it, and it's just not William Wagstaff. It's also Jamal Bowman. It's also Marion Carr. It's also Mondia Jones. Right? So I really think black people, see what's scaring them right now is that black people have an opportunity to have a black district attorney, a black congressman in CD 16, and a black congressman or black woman in CD 17. And that is too black for this Democratic Party. We have a chance to have the power. And what does that give our children? It's showing them that they can rise up to these levels, not just being mayor, right? Not just being a senator, but to be the top law official in Westchester County, which we ain't never seen that. We barely got black commissioners and chiefs. So let me go into what Mayor Sean Patterson Howard was saying.
Being a Democrat and fighting for democracy are two different things. Being a Democrat says that we believe in a democratic process. And a democratic process is not your Westchester County Democratic Committee, executive board members, calling elected officials throughout this county who endorsed Mr. Wagstaff and telling them that they needed to unendorse him. Democracy and democratic values are not calling Democratic district leaders whose Democratic committees endorsed Mr. Wagstaff and telling them that they cannot carry his petitions. Democracy and democratic values is not hiring for your campaign leadership people who do not stand with democratic values, who are not pro-choice, who are not pro-democratic, who are Republican and MAGA to the bone, and then saying that you are a Democrat. It is disgusting. Disgusting. I didn't want to get passionate because when you get passionate, they say you're an angry black woman. I'm not an angry black woman, but on today I am a black woman that's a little angry. And there's a difference because I have a right to be angry. So today I call out BS. I call out undemocratic behavior. I call out behavior that does not stand for who we are as Democrats in Westchester County. People have said, oh, well, Sean, you're playing identity politics. We've seen a lot of identity politics this political season, but it's not me who's playing them, right? You cannot say that we're being unfair, that we're being undemocratic when we choose to stand with a person that we believe. Having a primary is all right. It is the very thing that is a democratic value. Not only are they threatening to kick him off the ballot, but they are threatening and saying that they're going to get your law license. They're going to try and get you disbarred. Oh yes. They said not only will we go after him on the ballot, but we will continue to seek out his disbarment.
Yep. Yeah, so these are the tricks. These are the tricks that they're playing with black candidates. And AJ, you can come off mute. What is that noise?
I don't know. That's why I muted it. I don't know what's coming from.
Oh man. So these are the tricks that they're playing with the black candidates. And I think, man, we have to come together, man. You know, and as I said, we have these games are going to be playing because black people have an opportunity to take control of some powerful positions in Westchester. Jack Toon said, AJ back there playing video games. But we have an opportunity, man. Like let's pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention. And we always talk about police brutality. We always talk about accountability of police. It starts in the district attorney's office. It starts in the district attorney's office. So we need to get out. Young people need to get out and vote. Oh, shut up. I don't want to hear you complaining anymore. When you have an opportunity like this to put not just black people, but qualified, but qualified black people. And Jamal Bowman, he has brought $1 billion to the district. And you know why they're upset? You know why they're upset that Jamal Bowman? You know why they're upset? It's because he gave it to a lot of black and brown organizations that do work in the community. He didn't give it to the regular organizations that usually just suck the money dry and don't do nothing for our community and for the poor and poor white. That's what they're upset. They want to get that money back. See, we have to understand what's going on. In order for us to have community change, we have to have change agents in those positions, not career politicians. Not career politicians that have a couple of black people around them that's on payroll. Well, Westchester is racist. You know, people tell me all the time. People tell me all the time when I say, "Hey, man, I would look to move down south," and they say it's racist down south. No, it's racist in Westchester County. Y'all just not paying attention. You're not paying attention at all. This is one of the most racist counties. The South deal with Jim Crow. We deal with Jim Crow X-Y because they're a little sweet with theirs. They put sugar on their racism so we can taste it better, but it's still racism. So, I mean, listen, AJ, go ahead, man.
Nah, basically you said what you said. I mean, I agree. I was just listening to the speeches and the different speakers because I wasn't able to make it out to the actual press conference. Man, if I was trying to figure out who I wanted to vote for, the William Wagstaff speech, man, it just moved me. I was like, yo, that brother, I was like, wow, like I was impressed by what he had to say. You know, there's a couple of things, you know, they want to knock him off the ballot because you don't want someone to go to the district attorney's office with a civil rights lens. Most of the people that serve that, they're prosecutors. You know, someone with a civil rights lens, a civil rights lawyer lens, they're going to look at the cases with more equity and all that stuff involved. And they don't want that. And then to go after his law license, this is a very powerful civil rights attorney. He's representing the family of the kid that was killed in New Rochelle by the police and several other civil rights cases. You know, actually, this would, you know, while some people are just going to get a job, this is actually a step down for him, financial. But he wants to do. He seems, from what I heard from him, he wants to make a difference in the criminal justice system in Westchester County. And you know, I also want to say, you know, and I won't say the elected official's name because it's his story to tell. And when he wants to come out with his story, he'll do it with us. But he sat down and told me and Damon that he went to throw his support behind Jamal Bowman and the Latimer camp and several people in the county and the party came to him like, yo, you can't do that. You gotta, you know, they came for him. You know what I'm saying? To try to get him to take his support away from Bowman, Congressman Bowman, in the CD16 race. Now, again, that elected official, when he feels his time, will be on here and he'll tell his story himself. But I just wanted to share that what some of the stuff that they said is going on in this race for district attorney. And Damon said it's not just this race. This is the type of thing that has been going on for a while in a lot of our races. I still, it's crazy, and I think the mayor said something along those lines. When you have your Democratic committee pick the candidate and then make all of the district leaders and all of them go out
with that person's signatures. Like, I know district leaders that want to support him. I've spoke to district leaders that did not want to carry the other petition, but there was pressure put on them as district leaders, since the party said that that's who they were supporting, to support him, to go out and get her signatures. So I don't have much more to say. I do want to say that I was just reading something I hadn't seen in a while. I don't think I've ever seen it. The combined NAACP branches in Westchester County are having a candidate forum coming up somewhere around the 25th. Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Yonkers, White Plains, Greenberg, Port Chester, Rye, Peekskill, and Ossining, all coming together because it's a county-wide race to do a candidate. Powerful, because I don't know, Damon, you more familiar with the branches in Westchester than I am. I've never seen the branches work together like that for anything.
No, usually the state tells them they can't do it, but
so Mount Vernon is hosting this one, and while it hasn't been announced yet, it's being planned. White Plains, Greenberg, several of the branches are gonna come together, but White Plains, Greenberg is going to host the candidate forum in May for CD16. Again, with the branches coming together, but it'll be hosted by White Plains Greenberg branch. So I just want to applaud them. I hope that they come out good, and I hope that they ask the right questions, because Susan Case, in a Yonkers Ledger article that I read, she's only agreed to 2 debates. This one with the NAACP and News 12. And no disrespect to anybody I know at News 12, but News 12 is not going to ask the questions that concern our community, that of our concern. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully some of them questions will come out in the NAACP candidate forum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I think, man, we have to, we got to wake up. I mean, it's as simple as this. And when a candidate feels that they could disrespect a total Black community in a debate, says it all, right? And I wish I had Bob's breakdown on that issue, and probably next week I'm going to download that, and we could watch that too. But I think Westchester, Black people, you better wake up. You better wake up. This is going to be on you. This is going to be on you, especially those that claim in position. What do you tell your children and your great grandchildren when they ask you, well, why is there never been a Black district attorney? Why haven't we seen a Black congressman? It's going to be on you to explain that you sold your children out.
And why, when we had one, didn't you fight to keep him in there?
Right. We have to. That's right. We have to have brave leaders, or get out of leadership, because you're doing yourself, you're doing the organization, and you're doing your community a disservice if you're scared leadership. And I'm saying it. I work for the county, and I have no problem calling whoever out in the county exec, the deputy county exec, the district attorney, county legislators, commissioners. I never had no problem with the truth. The question is, where are y'all at? Everybody quiet. Nobody got nothing to say. Except the few strong people there. And if you and he said Damon called people out and they made that man look crazy. Exactly. They had people thinking I needed to be down at Bellevue. You know, but everything I said eventually came true. Everything I said that they called me crazy for eventually came true.
Well, you know, when you can't debate someone and they're coming out with facts that you can't debate, one of the tactics historically is to try to either to discredit them or make them seem like they're crazy.
Exactly.
I mean, throughout history, they try to discredit you, make you attach you to something that you're not, you know, or everybody they call crazy is not crazy. Sometimes we miss the message because of how we feel about the messenger.
That's right. But I mean, we got to wake up. You know, we just have to wake up. And do y'all understand that your party has been taken over by Republicans? Do Democrats understand that their party has been taken over by Republicans? The Republican Party don't have to run a candidate. They just switch sides and they're just welcome. Lattimore is getting all this MAGA money, AIPAC Republican money to run against a black man, Jamal Bowman. And y'all elected officials is just running to his side.
It's not too far of a stretch to believe that the 2,300 Republicans that joined the Democratic Party to vote against Jamal Bowman in the primary are also a good chance that they're going to be voting against Wagstaff as well. It's not too far of a stretch to say that if they're going after one black man, like, you know what I'm saying, that they might that they wouldn't be going after the possible first. They're going after the first black congressman to serve in the 16th district. It's not too far of a stretch to say that they might be going after the first potential black Westchester County district attorney. There's 2,300 votes in a countywide race. That could make a big difference. That could sway. And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of times, if you looked at the voter numbers in these last elections, the numbers are going down. The voter participation has been lower and lower and lower. Democrats, registered Democrats, not even the people that are not registered, but the number of registered Democrats that are voting is going lower and lower and lower. So now you have a scenario where you have 2,300 Republicans that switch to Democrat to vote against Jamal Bowman in a Democratic primary. They don't start the game. You know, when the game comes on, we were talking about sports, the score is 0-0.
Right.
Jamal's not starting out 0-0. Jamal's starting out 2,300 to 0.
That's right. And so is Wagstaff.
And Wagstaff, and we need to be fighting for Wagstaff like he's fighting for 2,300 to 0. Because if these tactics and the things that he said and what was said in the press conference, if all of that is true, how can you not think that they're not going to go after him as well? So I say that to say, if you are a registered voter and you support these candidates, you need to get out and vote. You need to not just get out and vote. You need to register others that are not voting. You need to check on seniors in your neighborhood to make sure they got right rides to the polls, just in case they don't. You need to check with your neighbors and see if they voted. Like there's a war going on right now to keep us from the room where it happens.
Right.
To keep us out of that room.
Right.
If you want representation, what are you willing to do for it? You have to go and fight for it. You have to go out and fight for what you want. Or we can continue this thing of we're not getting representation that we want, and then we just complain about it. And then the next election, we don't do no better, and we complain about it. And then the next election, we don't do no better, and we complain about it. We can continue playing that game. But where has that gotten you so far? If you want a different result, sometimes you got to do something different.
No, absolutely. But I mean, we just gotta we gotta learn it, man. We gotta learn it.
Every other group of people, they make sure that the interests of their community or their people are represented. And if you're not going to represent, hey, while I don't agree with much of anything that AIPAC stands for, they're pro-Israel. And they are doing everything in their power to support candidates that are pro-Israel. And they're doing everything in their power to take out any candidate that's not pro-Israel. Now, if you want pro-black rights and criminal justice and all that other stuff, you need to be doing the same thing and hard as they are for candidates that represent your ideals.
Right.
I'm just saying. So I know we're trying to keep it short, so I'm not going to go on a long ramble or nothing. I don't know if there's anything else you want to discuss.
I just want to say the cologne of the day, y'all. It's called Sakrat by Latafa.
It's called what? Spell that, please.
Suqraat.
Okay, say the name of it again.
Sakrat.
Okay.
Right.
Now I didn't know what you said, so that's why I was like, repeat that again, please. Yeah.
And the link is in the description. The link is in the description. And let me tell you something, man. If y'all like if y'all like Giorgio Armani Profumo, you'll love Sakrat. If you like Giorgio Armani Profumo, you will love Sakrat. Right? The top notes is bergamot and ginger. The mid is violet leaves and lavender, and the base is sandalwood, amber, and musk. And it's a long lasting. It's a long lasting cologne. It's very low, about 8 hours. You're gonna get about good 8 hours off this, and I do about 9-10 sprays. I tell you, it is what it is. I do about 9-10, but definitely this is definitely something. I do a show. I'm going to start it back up. I stopped it called Balling on the Budget, where we talk about, smelling good and not spending a lot of money. And Sakrat is a great cologne for you ladies that's watching. You get it for your husband. For fellas that's watching, get it for yourself. Young people, it's not a budget buster, right? You could get it right on Amazon. The link is in the thing, and it's only $21. $21. Right on Amazon. And if you see, I got a lot of colognes up here, and every show we're going to do a sin of the day and Sakrat by Latafa. If you like, fellas, if y'all know about Giorgio Armani Profumo, this one is this is hard to get now. This is very hard to get. So it's in the same zone. It's the same zone. So and you'll love it. And it's only $21 on Amazon. So check out the link in the butt. Check out the link. Get it. I'm telling you, this is crazy. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it for the summertime. You're going to enjoy it. It's a fresh scent, a fresh aquatic scent, and you smell the ginger and everything. It's beautiful. So that's all I got to say, man.
I just want to one of our advertisers. I want to just announce an event. STEAM careers and health disparities affecting Black women, Black and brown women and girls. The keynote speaker will be our friend Asha Castleberry Hernandez. And they will have Dr. I don't know how to pronounce her first name, UCHE Blackstock. This will be at the Grit and I Will Public Library in Yonkers. The date is Saturday, April 20th, and it's sponsored by Sister and Sister International. And it's their Day of Recognition, Education Action 2024, highlighting STSI 4 pillars. So again, this is affecting Black and brown women and girls with health, STEAM careers and health disparities, with a friend of ours, keynote speaker Asha Castleberry Hernandez, Saturday, April 20th, 2024. I said 1924. 24, from 10 to 4. And also, you see the flyer, it's on Black Westchester. You can I think they're streaming live too, so you can either go in person or watch it on your computer. So shout out to Cheryl Brandon and Sister, they're big supporters of Black Westchester. And I just wanted to say that. And they invited us, Damon. I think they are recognizing us for our work with a certificate or something, whatever. So that day.
When is this?
April 20th.
Okay.
Next week Saturday, I guess. That's next Saturday.
Oh, you gotta remind me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's in Yonkers. So if not, I'm trying to be there and I'll make sure I get it, represent us. But because I know you got that long drive, so you know.
What is it's on Saturday?
It's on a Saturday, yeah. So all day thing, I need to find out what time they need me to be there, because I'm not gonna be there all day. it's like 10 to 4. Like I don't think my presence is necessary to be there from 10 to 4, but whenever they're gonna be doing that, and I would like to see, I want to hear Asha speak, and rep, stand and go support her. So
Right. And everybody save the date for May 4th. May 4th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Live Church with Overseer Damon and Pastor Tanya Mack. Yolanda Jones is hosting breaking the stigma, unpacking trauma. I'll be one of the panelists talking about Black men's health and wellness. And I think I applaud Sister Yolanda for talking about Black men's health and wellness, mental health, definitely mental health, because that's something that we do not discuss a lot. And Black men throughout America is going through a lot of trauma. We have generational trauma. We have work trauma. We deal with racist institutions. And we deal a lack of proper loving relationships with our Black women, so there's a lot of issues that we can talk about, especially our young men having great mentors, so we could address children issues so they don't become adult trauma.
And we can't have healthy families and healthy communities without healthy Black men.
No, we can't. Even though they want to, they want to portray that we can have Black communities without Black men. That is one of the most I was about to curse. That was the most falsehoods that have been given to the Black community and Black women. That we could do all this without each other. We need each other. The Black man needs the Black woman, and the Black woman needs the Black man.
Absolutely.
Let's not act like we're going to be so independent from each other and we're going to build communities and build nations and build institutions. Absolutely not. We're fooling ourselves. We're allowing other people to fool us.
Any successful Black communities had successful Black men and women relationships, marriages. Once we allowed them to divide us, that is why a lot of our communities are in the shape that they're in right now.
Listen, Black children are growing up 80% unwed parents. 80%. In 1962, it was flipped. It was 80% of marriages.
But I do want to say though, you know, we do have, and not to discount the fathers who are not married to the child's mother, but are holding it down and taking care of their children. So I don't want to just, I definitely want to uplift them because there's a lot of us out there that without marriage, that take, no. I just want to put that out there though. I just want to, because that's a narrative they don't. That's a narrative they don't. No, not you, not you. When others put out statistics, they never include that and they never celebrate that part.
Look, that has already been debunked, right? The recent study last year that Black men are the most involved with their children than any other ethnic group. Black men. So we don't even have to talk about that. We just have to understand the studies that are there and make sure that we push the correct narrative that is out there. But also the problem is that the decline in the Black family between a Black man and woman is so severe, it has negative effects on the community. And it also has negative effects on generational wealth, which we can remain at the bottom.
Absolutely.
And more and what was the brother? What was the Moynihan when he came out with his report back I believe in the 70s or the 60s about the Black family, right? These liberal Democrats and these people attacked him when he said we got to put the Black man back in the house. We got to put him in the house. But what they do?
Delayed law of attraction. Delayed marriage.
What do they do? Right? They created what? Welfare and all this other stuff to pull the Black man out of the house. The Black man had to come out of the house for the woman to get welfare.
You remember that scene? That scene that represents that most is the scene in Claudine where James Earl Jones had to hide in the closet when the people came because she couldn't have no man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And he had to hide in the closet, and the gifts that he brought her, like a toaster, he had to hold all that stuff in the closet with because they couldn't know that she had a man in her life, or she wouldn't get the assistance.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what they did to break the Black family down. So, and we don't talk about that enough, because what we see today in the Black community is a result of these policies. Just like Michelle Alexander in the new Jim Crow, what she said, and it skips over everybody's head that talk about the book, The New Jim Crow. She said, we have the new Jim Crow because we had Black people in spaces that didn't do what they were supposed to do. Black people in spaces that didn't do what they were supposed to do, which created what is called the new Jim Crow or the mass incarceration system of America. And this is the same way with the Black family. We have Black people in spaces that didn't do what they were supposed to do. Even after Moynihan came out with the report to strengthen Black men, he got attacked, a Democrat, by white liberals. And this is a fact. But nobody wants to talk about it. So pull up. So whoever's watching, pull up Patrick Moynihan's report.
Actually, what you should do is, if you can pull it up, let's put a link out in one of our stories so we can share it with everybody. So then you got to look for it.
I wrote an article on it. I wrote a complete article on the New Deal for Black men.
I'm about to run because my battery's about to be dead, but I wanted to give a shout out before I left, a very important shout out. I wanted this, today would have been the birthday of Kenneth Chamberlain Sr., and I definitely wanted to honor that and shout that out. Shout to Kenneth Jr. Y'all all know the story, but we always do everything we can to keep the memory and the name alive. So I definitely wanted today is his birthday, and I wanted to make sure we shouted that out and give some love to that.
Yes,
that's it for me.
Heavenly birthday, absolutely. All right, yeah. Well, we're about to call it a day, and I want to thank everybody. And maybe I made a mistake. I think they killed us. Wait, we still on Instagram. That's interesting. So thanks everybody for watching. Tune in next Sunday. We might be having a late show again because so tune in Sunday. But this is Black Westchester Magazine, People Before Politics radio show, and make sure y'all go to blackwestchester.com and check out our articles. AJ, I just saw you just popped on, so I guess we still live.
Yeah, we're still on. Yeah, we're still live. I just checked it. Yeah,
that's what's up. So peace and blessings, and may y'all have a blacktastic day. And remember, God is in your vegetables. Peace out.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it.